Borough's big game in League Two at home against Forest Green Rovers. Now, my name is Matt Farley, and joining us on the show tonight we have a very special guest. Now, this special guest currently plays in the Borough team this season. Since joining, he's made a huge impact, actually joining on loan from Forest Green Rovers. He's made a huge impact in the team, scoring that big away goal at Grimsby. Wow, what a day. He's also been in the team when the team have been improving their results recently. He currently wears the number 35 shirt at Borough. You've probably guessed who it is. A massive welcome to Matty Stevens. Matty, welcome to the show, mate.
How are you, okay?
Really good.
Good.
Really good to have you up here, mate.
Thank you very much.
Now, obviously, you've been at the club for 2 months now since you've joined on loan from Borough's opponents tonight. How are you finding it at the football club?
Yeah, the boys has made me feel welcome. You know, the boys are all top players there. I've come in, I've worked hard, training ground's lovely, pitches, like I was just saying to you just there, probably one of the best pitches in the league, and yeah, enjoying it.
Yeah, really good to hear. Now, you're ineligible tonight because obviously your parents' side of Forest Green.
Yeah.
What do you expect from the game? Because obviously it's a really big game for Borough, but equally it's a big side for your parents' side tonight.
Yeah, it's a massive game for both teams. Obviously Forest Green pushing for promotion and Stevenage pushing to get further up the league and still got the ambitions of, you know, trying to get in the playoffs with a good run of games. So I think it's going to be a difficult game. Yeah. Stevenage, I was just like I was saying to you just a moment ago, I feel like we're very hard to beat, very difficult to beat, and Forest Green have been on a bit of form lately, but you know it can go either way. I'm looking forward to it.
Is it tough to not be involved tonight? I can imagine it's really difficult.
I'd love to be involved tonight. I'd love to. I know a couple of the I know the boys will be starting at the back for Forest Green. And I know a thing or two about him, so I think I would have turned him inside out today if I'd have been playing.
And can I dare ask you as well, who are you rooting for? That's a really cheeky question of me, I've got to be honest.
Of course, you know, I want both teams to do well. I'm sort of sitting on the fence really, because obviously I'm still a Forest Green player, I'm there next year, but at the same time I've come to do a job for Stevenage, so you know, sort of sitting on the fence really.
Yeah, now obviously recently at Borough, since Christmas the results have really picked up. We've started winning some big away games. What do you put that down to? Because obviously before Christmas it was really difficult, we found a really difficult run of form, but since Christmas, you know, results have improved. What do you put that down to?
You know what, since the boys who's come in on since January has come in, I feel like the team sort of, since I've been there, has stepped up again. I feel like the training, the intensity in training's unbelievable. It's every day the boys are coming in and getting their head down and working so hard. And I just think togetherness. I think the team, every player, you know, we all get on really well as a team, and I think it's massive when it comes to the games.
Yeah. Now, as we can see, we can both see the teams out on the pitch. Yeah. We'll start with our side first. So, players to pick out for tonight, then, from the Borough team that you're looking forward to watching.
Obviously, Listy. Listy's been on fire lately. He's come up with some big goals. So I think he's definitely one. He's always one who's great to watch with his pace and things like that. And then you've obviously got Petty, who's been doing really well.
Played really well recently.
He's been doing great lately. And TVC, I think TVC's been. Yeah.
We were just talking about TVC when he's played so well the last couple of months.
Yes, he's such a good player to play with. You know, I'm confident with him at the back, and it just goes to show with the amount of clean sheets we've had this season. Yeah,
I completely agree. Now, obviously, you're the perfect guest to have on because you can give us an insight into Forest Green Rovers. Now, what can you tell us about Forest Green in this team, and who should we keep an eye out for tonight?
Yeah, the Forest Green's a very good team. They're a bit different to a lot of other teams in the league. They like to play a lot more than probably a lot of others. They're a young squad, and the players you most probably best to look out for is Jamal. He's on fire at the moment. I think he got 2 in his last game. A goal against Newport in the game before. Udoka Godwin Malife. He's only 20. He's a young boy at the back. Top player. He goes to the very top. And then you've got Aaron Collins, plays in the 10. He picks it up in some great positions. and he will shoot from anywhere, but he has got a rocket of a shot.
One to keep an eye out for then.
Definitely, definitely.
Now lastly, I've got to ask you, because we're in a crazy world at the minute with everything going on off the pitch.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a professional footballer? Because I can imagine it's so different this season to what it's like previous seasons.
It's a dream job, isn't it? It's you come in every day, you're keeping fit, you know, you're working hard, but at the same time, it's you know, it is hard. You know, it's so much on the line, and it means so much to not only us, to the fans and everyone else involved with the club. So, but no, it's you can't ask to do much more. Really, it's a dream.
Yeah. Well, really good to hear, and hopefully, you know, we get some good questions over to later, which will be really, really
Lovely.
good.
Appreciate it.
Now, before Christmas, the football club appointed Dean Wilkins as assistant manager to Alex Ravel. Now, since Dean has joined the club, the team have really improved in some form and recent results. Now, luckily, Dan Bronowski was able to speak to Dean earlier today to discuss how he's doing at Borough, but also to talk about the team's recent form.
All right, Dean. First of all, thank you for joining us on Live at the Lamex.
No problem.
Okay, let's start with right from the beginning. You've been with us for a few months now. How have you found it overall?
It's been challenging, of course it has. You know, but before I came in, I did a bit of research. You know, when Alex phoned me, you know, the attraction for me was to help a first-time manager. To be honest with you, you know, and having managed Alex myself, and knowing what type of guy he is, what type of character, he's honest, he's hard-working. You know, I didn't think too long about the job, to be honest with you. Normally I can think too hard about things, but I thought, no, let's go and do it and see if I can help him out and help him on the first step of his managerial career, really.
Yeah, we were just speaking off camera. You mentioned the shocking statistic for first-time managers and how that was something that you wanted to, wanted to help with. What was that? Yeah,
well, you know, I've had one manager's job. You know, and I think it's 70% of first-time managers don't manage again, which is alarming, really. And you know, because I know the stat, and I, you know, as I say, I did some research and looked at the situation Stevenage were in, and Alex in particular. You know, I think I might be wrong, but I think we'd won 5 games in the last 54. You know, and I just thought, you know, I'm pretty sure I felt confident that I could help him sort of turn that round. And we've worked really well together, and you know, up to this point now, we've turned it round to a point. But for me, it's about trying to make sort of small steps. You can't just suddenly change everything at once. So initially, you know, our discussions were to try and find the right balance between the players that we've got, what type of shape we play, trying to find the right balance between being tight but trying to create and score is always a challenge, whatever club you're at. And I think there's been a gradual progression in performances and chances created. I think now it's about turning draws into wins. I think that's the big thing for us, especially the last week or so. Walsall at home really needs to be 3 points and not 1 point. Port Vale away, strong first half performance, started the second half really well, but it's only a point again. You know, but the indications and the feedback I've been getting personally is that they're games that we could have lost maybe last year or whatever. So, you know, we are making progress. And the thing for me is giving the players belief. They have to believe that they can achieve. I think one of the first meetings I had it with two separate groups of players. I tried to keep it smaller, and I said the target is the playoffs. It was deathly silent. I'm not sure anybody thought that was realistic. But I think over this last 14 games, I think if you look at it, I know we can always go back in time and say if this, if that, but I think realistically we could easily be 4 points better off, potentially more. And if we would be within touching distance of the playoffs. So for me, the big thing is belief. I think when I came in, I'm not saying it's down to me, but I'm just saying maybe the belief wasn't quite there. Maybe players didn't really think that they could win a game. But that's gradually changing. You know, and as I say, we've just focused on performance, not where we are in the league. It's about performing well, and the more we perform well and consistently well, the more chance we're going to have of picking up 3 points.
But how much of that is down to coaching, and how much of that is down to results? Because results and performances don't always necessarily match. How much is it you get the result and that just adds the confidence?
I think I would argue that 90% of the time it comes down to performance. I think if you've got a plan in place, you've got a structure that everybody understands and have to believe in as well. I think that breeds confidence on the back of that, and then obviously if you get a little bit of momentum, if you can win back to back, which I think we did against who was it, against Cambridge and Scunthorpe. I think we won back to back. Suddenly then it's the realisation is, do you know what, we can win games, and that's what we've been striving for really. The training ground, the environment is a positive environment. It's a coaching, teaching environment. We want to try and improve every single player for them to perform individually better, and I think if we do that and we've got a good structure as a team, then we're gonna get good performances and good results.
I believe this is the first time that you've coached at League 2 level. Has there been any surprises, and is there any big differences? What do you make of it here?
Yeah, I think one of the differences is the state of the pitches. To be honest with you, we've got a decent surface here at the Lamex, but sometimes you've got to go into games and be adaptable. I think that's been one of the biggest things. We went to Tranmere. I think within 10 minutes we played a square pass and a backward pass. Normally if we did that at home, that's not a problem, but the ball ended up bouncing around, and then suddenly somebody sort of shanks it off the pitch, and you have to turn around and say, like, if it comes back, we need to be playing forward on the next pass. So I think being adaptable to the state of the pitches, and also I don't know whether I should really say it controversially, but I've worked for the Premier League and I've helped them assess refereeing performances. So, I've been privileged to be in the dressing room with Premier League referees, and obviously the standard's not quite the same either. And for me personally, trying to control myself at times during the game has been a bit of a challenge. Even at the stage of my career. So. They're probably the two biggest things.
Finally, back-to-back home games this week. Great opportunity to keep pushing on and pick up plenty of points.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the players are comfortable playing at home as well now. But like I say, we've had a couple of draws here that should have been wins. So what we will be working on for sure, or what we have been working on as well, is just trying to improve our play in the final third now. But you can't do everything at once. It's impossible. Like I said to you, we tried to, initially when we came in, we looked at trying to control the game in the middle third of the pitch, and then we spoke about playing out from the back and switching play around the back. I think now we've got some confidence from those performances. I think now the next challenge really for us is to be more ruthless in the final third.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right, and look where they're at. It's mad, isn't it?
Really good to hear from Dean Wilkins there. Now, Matty, Dean Wilkins is someone that obviously you'll know very well since joining here. How good is Dean, and what can you tell us about Dean?
Well, do you know what? When I first come in, all the boys was telling me how good he was, and how much of a difference he's made to the club. And his sessions, I must say, they're very good. You come in and they're enjoyable at the same time that they make you a club. So yeah, Dean's been great. He's been in. It goes to show with the result.
Yeah. Now, obviously that trio as well, Evs, Wilkins, and Simpson as well. I can imagine that's some story there, isn't it?
Yeah. I do a lot of work with Sampson finishing and things like that. I love the banter with him and things. He's a top man, and that seems to all have their own sort of input on games and things and their little bits, and they take bits and pieces from each other, and you know, anything to help the boys. It's good. It's
Yeah, really good to hear. Now, as you can see, the Borough are out on the pitch warming up, which means you haven't got long till kick-off. So, to be able to watch tonight's big game for Borough in League 2, you have to make sure that you get an iFollow match pass. Now, for season ticket holders, you get this free. All you need to do is log into your account, hit Matchday Live, and you get that front row seat from your living room. Non-season ticket holders, click the link in the description, and you'll be able to, again, pay £10. I say it all the time, that's a bargain to watch Borough. So go on there, do it, and get that opportunity to watch Borough in the game. So for watch this YouTube live content, make sure to put in your Borough predictions. We'll be reading out some predictions at the end of the show. Also, we'll have a couple of minutes to get questions. Borough's number 35, Matt Stephen. So make sure you put your questions in there, and hopefully we've just got enough time to ask Matty. Now, we're going to move on to the highlight from the last 2 away games. It's been a hectic week on the road. Borough have played away at Port Vale and have also played away at Newport, drawing both games 0-0. We're going to take a look back at the action. I don't know what he said. Great to have a look back there at some of Borough's recent away games. Thankfully, we're back at home tonight after some chaotic games on the road. Now, Matty, 2 away games in the week, 2 0-0s. What's your assessment of both draws away from home for Borough?
I think the last game, Newport, was a very. They've been doing really well this season. It was a very hard game, and condition of the pitch is the worst pitch in the league by a long way. But I believe we should have won the game. We had one opportunity with Elliot List, and you know, the form he's been on, you back him to score, but it wasn't to be. But apart from that, there wasn't really much in the game. It was a very boring game to be on the bench and sort of watching. But yeah, them little opportunities you sort of need to take, and I believe we should have had the 3 points in that one. And what was the
Port Vale away on Tuesday.
Port Vale. So you went from the worst pitch in the league to the biggest pitch in the league.
Quite a transition.
That pitch is massive. But yeah, again, that was another game we could have quite easily have won. But you know, a point away against them, you know, isn't the worst result. But yeah, a bit unlucky with the Newport one, really.
And how do we turn these draws into wins? Obviously, the easiest answer is to score goals, but we're so close every game, aren't we, with that?
We are. It's just, like I say, them moments, like the Elliot List moment, that was a good opportunity. You know, it was a good save, but at the same time, they're the opportunities you wait for, and when they come, you've just got to really be. You've got to be so cool and take them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, recently it's been absolutely chaotic off the pitch at Stevenage Football Club. Dan Branowski has been able to catch a few minutes with Alex Tunbridge, who's the CEO of the football club, earlier today to discuss everything off the pitch at Borough.
Okay, Alex, thanks for joining us. Plenty to talk about. Let's start with the team's recent revival in fortunes. You must be delighted to see all the hard work paying off off the pitch, on the pitch over the past 18 months or so.
Yeah, it's certainly been a challenge for the last 18 months. We feel we've made some fantastic progress off of the field and many of our commercial activities and the stadium regeneration, and obviously the missing piece for us was always going to be the on the field piece. But Revs has worked very hard, you know, particularly his management team with Mark and Dean Wilkins to really try and turn around performances on the pitch, and I think it'd be fair to say that since the turn of the year they've done a fantastic job really, and we're on an upward trajectory, and hopefully we'll be able to move that forward into the next few weeks and months of the season and finish in a reasonably attractive position.
Yeah, it's been tough for a number of reasons, none more so than the inability to get supporters into the ground. How is the club doing financially, and how have yourself and others managed to sort of navigate the club throughout this time?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one really. I think when you look around the country, football's probably one of the only businesses where you can operate, but actually you're almost limited in the income streams you can bring in. So I mean, obviously the academy's been closed at Shepherdbury, all of our conference banqueting, match days, crowds, etc. So it's been a real struggle for us. We've had to really put focus on maybe some of the more untraditional areas. So retail has been a big focus for us, esports, obviously some of the other ventures we've had in place as well around probably the digital revenue streams have been really important. And you know, we just had to be creative. Equally, we've had to be very savvy in how we've operated. We've had to utilise furlough. We've had to you know, look at costing across the club as best as we can, and really operate it on a day-to-day, hand-to-mouth basis.
But it's been important for yourself and others to retain jobs, hasn't it, and to keep the people employed?
Yeah, we've said from day one it was always about job retention. We've got some fantastic staff here, and you know we've missed them immensely over the last kind of year. But for us, it's been about really sort of mothballing the club and making sure that when we come out the other side, everybody's still here. We've still got people employed in the roles they're in beforehand, and we've still got a football club that we can, take that cover off and roll out into a new future, really.
One such way that the club will be hoping to raise funds is through the Stadium Series Festival, which will be taking place in a couple of months. What can you tell us about that, and why should supporters and even non-supporters be excited? Yeah,
so this is probably a legacy really of the boxing we had in 2019. We were always really keen to make the stadium a community venue that was used not just when football was on a Saturday, be that through conference of banqueting or be that through some of the foundations programmes, but particularly we wanted to make use of it in the off-season. The boxing was a great success, and we were out the blocks fairly early after the boxing to secure a concert. Unfortunately, due to COVID, that didn't take place last year, but we were speaking to New Future, who were the guys responsible for We Are Festival over in Upminster. And it's a really exciting venture, not just for the football club, but probably for the entire music industry in whole. There'll be a lot of people watching us, It's going to be a socially distanced style event, so there'll be in excess of 200 picnic benches on the pitch, bubbles of 6 with table service for food and drink, and quite a diverse array of dance and DJs on show for 14 events. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Great challenge for us, something to get all the staff reinvigorated when they come back off the back of furlough, and you know it puts the football club back on the map. It puts the town back on the map. You know, it probably gives us a great platform to move forward into next season from.
Yeah, finally, what are you hoping for the rest of the season and beyond? And is there anything else that supporters should be aware of or looking forward to at this time?
Yeah, I think the first one is probably over 5 or 6 wins. That's the key one. We'd like to get over that mark and probably just to relax a little bit. But I think we've got a few things going on. We've got asymptomatic COVID testing taking place here on Sunday. We're in negotiations with the council about bringing another testing site on. We've got a few interesting projects going on in the foundation. So there are things happening. I'm sure, like the rest of the world, as we get closer to the lockdown easing, there'll be lots of exciting announcements. I know the shareholders this week have just had a survey around kits for next season. Hopefully we'll be able to provide some updates, hopefully as we edge towards Easter, around season tickets for next season and how we'll be approaching that. So all in all, you know, the message of the supporters is to keep supporting as best as we can. You know, we appreciate it's very difficult at the moment, you know, to engage with everybody, but hopefully the finish line is in sight and next season could be a really interesting one for us.
Yeah, it's something that even just talking about it now just gets you feeling excited, the thought of having a full season with supporters back in the ground and that match day buzz, because it is different this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very sterile environment. It's not football as we know it, and funnily enough, it's probably the little things. You know, we've missed some of the volunteers on a match day, just saying hello to them. We've missed some of the characters in and around the stadium coming through the turnstiles, and hopefully we're not that far away now, and we've got a football club for everyone to return to. And as I said, next year could be a really interesting one for us.
And even if there is to have to be some sort of distancing or whatever, the club's put in a lot of work already, hasn't it? Expecting supporters to have already been in the ground by now.
Yeah, it's always a moving beast, and as you can appreciate, the goalposts change on a weekly basis at the minute, so we probably can't divulge too much into what the stadium may look like when people return for next season. But our main thing is it's a safe environment. We've had a test event which was back in December now. We've got some learning points from that we'll seek to learn and develop from. But all in all, you know, hopefully come 6 months' time we'll be ready to go and we'll have a crowd in and a new future at the club in terms of on and off the field.
All right, thank you very much.
Cheers, Dan.
Great to hear from Alex Tunbridge there. It really does sound like the football club has got a really exciting and promising future ahead. Now, once again, we're not far from kick-off, so we are coming to the end of the show. We have got enough time to quickly go through some of your questions and predictions. We're really quickly going to start with some predictions. Well, we have got a prediction from Casual Flags, who has gone at 0-0. I mean, that's not bad, but we want to win, Casual Flags. He's also asked, Matt, who are you cheering for tonight? Obviously, you know, question to that. Mike Harmon has gone with 2-1 Burnley win with Listy and Pet on the goal score sheet. That's a really good prediction. We've also got a 1-0 win from Zed Pointer. That's a really good prediction. Matt, really quickly, what's your prediction for tonight before we get to the questions?
You know what, I think there's going to be a couple of goals, so I think it's going to be a 2-2 game, I think, today.
I like that.
A draw, but a 2-2.
Who are you going for the goal scorers?
I'm going to go for Elliot List, and I am going to go for Jack Aitchison, the caster bench, and Nick One.
I like that. Now, we've got really quickly just one question to fit in, Matty, before kick-off happens. This is from Mike Hardeman. He's asked, Coates has you down as the quiet one in the group, according to the programme notes. What's your rebuttal for him?
So he's got me down as a quiet one, is he?
He has, yeah. Would you agree with that? Or?
I wouldn't say I'm probably the... Maybe when I first come in, it just got me head down, was more thinking about the football, but no, I'm not quiet. I get on with all the boys in the group. I disagree with that, Ray.
I like that answer, mate. It's really good. Now, as we can see, once again, the players are coming out onto the Lamex pitch, which means we're only a minute from kick-off, which means the pre-game show has come to an end. Now, once again, I follow. Quickly go and get your match pass before the kick-off. So if you're a non-season ticket holder, click the link in the description and go and get in that front row seat. Matty Stevens, thanks for joining us today. Have you enjoyed it?
Thank you very much. Yeah, loved it.
It's been really good to have you on, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Once again, thank you ever so much for watching today's live YouTube content. We'll be back on Saturday for Borough's big home game in League 2 against Harrogate Town. My name's been Matt Farley. You've been watching live at the Lamex, and once again, come on the Borough.